Hello, guys. Yes, we're back. Oh dear. Yes, what a dramatic exit. Just disappeared. And my goodness, I think, it may be my broadband playing up. So my broadband is not down. This has happened before, a few months ago. And we just went through a kind of, few days period. And it just goes kind of unstable for a little bit. So thank you for bearing with me. And it's bound to happen. So this is quite possibly my broadband that's out of my control, but we'll do our best. We're resourceful and we're flexible. We're just, work with it. And welcome back, everyone. And yes, hi again, hi again. And so let's have a look. And okay, just checking everything is okay. So, within reason, if it's within our streaming time, if we have to restart again, we've done this before, so you know the drill. And I'll start a new stream, okay? So, yes, I remember this happened for a few days a while back, and then it stopped. So I think the connection is not down; it's just unstable. So all it takes is to go off for 1 second. I get kicked off. So if I'm watching something, I'm probably not. I wouldn't even notice it. But when you're streaming, all it takes is half a second off the stream, I'm out of it. So thank you guys. Welcome back. Well done. Well done. You found your way back. And yes, I was just talking about, let me just zoom in a little bit and see where I was. Yes, I've got, I was stitching 310. I was in the middle of 310 indeed. And also I was talking about, for new members, and we have the customized emoji that I designed for you, okay? So it's on the top row. If you open the chat emoji menu, it's on the top. And we have all the group emojis that we play with. So we have Spooky Bingo as well, all sorts. So enjoy, and I hope you enjoy them. And yes, hello everyone. And welcome back. And Walk Away has joined us as well, Mandy Moran as well. And so I'm going to continue with my 310 here. Where was I? I know, internet is being internet. Well, what with it? Okay. Because for a while, when I saw the warning, I thought I was stitching in the wrong spot again. So I kept looking at my chart and back, trying to find it. And then I realized I wasn't even online anymore. And thank you for the alarm bell. It's working really well. It's warning me for all sorts of things, like the microphone is off, I'm stitching in the wrong spot when there's a fire and whatever it is, or I get kicked out. Yes. Yesterday we were quite lucky. I didn't get kicked out till the end. Today, not so much. So there you go. We're back. And yes, Michelle is demonstrating the full menu, the full menu in our restaurant. Yes, all emoji there. So I hope you have fun. Suzanne says, suspected it was baking powder package. Do you think that's what it is? Maybe baking powder or maybe yeast or something, because it's to do with baking, isn't it? Yes. And I just love the style. And hi, Joyce. Hello, Joyce. And I'd love to know what you're working on, guys. Oh, Sylvie says, in the meantime, I find out a little about that woman, and it's cover of an old cookbook from Royal Baking Powder. Oh, Have you found something that looking like this? Really? It's a known thing? Maybe it's some sort of a old brand that's known by everybody back in, I don't know, 50s. Yes, thank you for that. So it is baking powder. Baking powder. There you go, that makes sense. It's to do with baking. And Kelly quotes, Kelly's quote plus says, by the way, I could not see what you were talking about, the Gecko Rouge project you posted about. Oh, yes. So with the Gecko Rouge, I posted what happened to my Gecko Rouge because I finally got the project out after, you know, a little bit not working on it. And later on realized after the stream, I realized I was, you know, there's one part of the pattern, I was stitching one block off. So I missed everything towards that block, left of that block that I missed or miscounted, have to be frogged. I know, I've said the F word. I don't want to, but I have to, you know, face the reality. And I've got close to 2,000 stitches. Close to 2,000 stitches that I have to frog in order to fix it. Is maybe if just a few stitches, you know, a couple of stitches, maybe I'll be able to fudge it. But with an entire block, 10 by 10, I simply cannot. So. And also, so yesterday we were talking about, you know, what we're going to do with the members get together on Saturday. So most Saturdays, I'm hoping, if I don't have to do extra classes, or maybe sometimes I do special streams like last week, I do a walkthrough or demo. When we're not doing those, you know, we do a members get together. So Saturdays, a lot of times you probably find 2 streams on Saturday. So on Saturday we have the regular Aimee, Stewart, Sal that we do together. But before that, you know, we do another stream for members. And this week, yesterday we were talking about maybe doing a very sad frogging session together and feel sorry for each other, you know, and provide emotional support. I think we will do that at some point. I like the idea, but I'm not quite ready yet because I'm so slightly traumatized by the situation. So for this week, this Saturday, I think we can do a side quest. So the week before we did a side quest as well. It's quite fun. But this time I'm going to work on a different project, and you're free to do to stitch whatever you want as well. You know, some of you might have different types of projects that you just like to have as a side dish. You can work on those with me. Okay, this Saturday, and I think I'm aiming at around 4:30, something like that, just like previous sessions. We can do a little side quest together, and then we join everybody else then later on for the Aimee, Stewart, Sal. Okay, so we've got quite a few new members join recently. So you know, on Saturdays, you know, I'll let you know every week. But my plan is to do sort of members get together, kind of slightly different type of stitching than our regular day-to-day. You know, we focus on full coverage most of the time, and but for our site, you know, for our Saturday extra sessions, we can do whatever we want. So just so you know, so this Saturday, if I don't need to teach extra classes, let's do a side quest. Okay, let's do a side quest. So around 4:30, p.m. UK time-ish. And then maybe at some point when I'm emotionally ready, we can do the frogging session. Okay, we can do maybe we can do a frogging workshop. You know, we can turn it into a kind of a learning experience, maybe dig out sort of different frogging methods, and we can look at them together and to make frogging a little bit more pleasurable, you know, because at some point we're having to be confronted. We're confronted by frogging. So it's part of a stitcher's life. And let's see if we can find ways to make it, you know, productive, and we can learn new things from it. Okay, because yesterday I did a little browse. I already found a really, really unusual way of frogging. Okay, and I'll share it with you when we do the session. 372. Maybe we don't need to feel depressed about frogging. Maybe it's positive. Kelly says, is it the same thing as the previous project that you had to abandon? It's the same project, but it's a restart. So I don't know how up to date you are with that project. So I restarted sometime last year, end of last year. And it was going great. I stitched on 28 instead of 25. And let's have a look. Let me see if I can make some adjustments here. So I'm just tweaking my let me just lower that a little bit. I'm just tweaking my setting a little bit because I keep getting strange warnings. Keeps flagging. The bit rate is on sort of. Make sure we get the most stable stream here. And Lizzie says, I worked on a little Earth Angel, supersize. Max Color by Joseph Wall earlier. It's hard as it is, or air stitching. Well, but yes, some patterns is asking for a lot of air stitching, but you probably went in with the eyes open, right? You love the pattern so much that you wanted to do it. It's all part of the challenge, isn't it? Joy says, I'm hooked on Maggie and maybe on Dimensions in general. That's lovely. Yes, I think Dimensions really need stitchers support because they're kind of just, you know, slightly being kind of forgotten a little bit because they haven't really created that many new products, and stitchers are constantly looking for new things, so they're kind of left behind. And maybe that's why it's a vicious cycle, isn't it? The less you produce, the less you're talked about. And I think nowadays, if your brand of patterns are not being talked about online, on YouTube being stitched, or being talked about on Instagram, you're very easily forgotten. So, you know, I think by stitching Dimensions every week, we kind of bring the brand, you know, the pattern, the patterns to the forefront of the stitcher's mind. And it's wonderful. They have been, you know, producing beautiful, beautiful products, and they have a special place in my heart, and many of yours as well. And I hope they won't go away, you know. And I'm really happy that Joyce is enjoying Maggie. I love Maggie. It's a special, special project for me. Here we go. Where am I? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I need to catch up with all these stitches. One, two, three. Oh dear. Okay. Look away, look away. I know these stitches are a little bit, you know, iffy. I'll do my best to update my app. One, two. Anna Dramels says, I'm stitching a big dollhouse. Just started, so very focused. Sounds like a fun one. I love dollhouses. Because my Christmas project from Artisy, it's a little bit kind of a dollhouse view as well. I like that. One, two. These stitches are one, two, three. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. No. Let me focus here. And it kind of, this part, I can probably fudge a little bit because the color scheme, all the colors are very similar. So, hopefully, 1, 2. And let me end this thread here. This area is a little bit iffy with the stitches. Hello, Alison. Alison Rennie says, good evening, old and new stitchy friends. Indeed. I'm working on Gloria in the Garden by Peggy Collins, feeling a little bit achy as took a stumble on steps going out to bins. What? Took a stumble on steps. Oh, you stepped on it. What? Is that what it is? What is happening? Stitch safely. Do not injure yourself. Janine says, frogging is never pleasurable. I know, but we're kind of trying to find joy with, you know, while doing very challenging, slightly painful things, you know. We're trying to find the upside of from the tragedy. There's always something, you know, positive with things like this, even frogging. Okay then, let me have a look. Let me just flip this back. I might start doing, yes, this area, I have to say, this is clothing. Okay, so ladies' clothing, a lot of air stitching, a little bit confetti. Not too bad, not the worst confetti I've seen, but a little bit confetti. So I need a little bit of patience. And the color is quite light as well, if you look at the ladies' clothing there. So I'm going to do 3A22, 3A22, and a little bit of ujjayi brass. So Suzanne has found some mistakes as well. Do you have to frog? Susan says you could change the color of the fabric. Oh, Lizzie, so there's different conversations, sorry. Sometimes they just dive straight in, not knowing what's being talked about. All right then, let me come back here. Hi, Betty Hankins. Hello, hello. You're waving that little hand there. Lizzie says, Yogi, have you seen that Storyteller's View now available as a supersized max color? I saw it. And I went on Heaven and Earth and have a look. So the maximum, they basically increased the width to 999, which is maximum width. Because when we saw this piece, there was some debate about whether it's possible to have supersize of that piece. If you don't know what it is, let me show you. Okay, guys, particularly if you're new to the group, I want to bring you up to date of the situation. Okay, so we have a piece that quite a lot of us are stitching. It's called Traveling Library. Okay, so let me show you the markup here. You've probably seen this one. Depending on when you join the group. So this is Traveling Library, and it's a beautiful piece, but it comes with 2 companion pieces. Okay, 2 companion pieces. Look at this, it's absolutely gorgeous. And so this one's Traveling Library, but it comes with 2 companion pieces. One is external view and one is kind of like writer's view. And let me just show you the close-up view. Okay, so this piece, so the caravan piece is kind of a trio, 3 pieces working together. So this is, traveling library, maybe someone is, actually traveling inside with the caravan and writing stories, or maybe it's an author, writing about stories about caravans and traveling. This magical caravans just popping up everywhere. So this is the second piece. Okay, 3 pieces together to form the complete project. And this time, I'm going to show you the largest, well, not largest, but most epic piece out of the 3. Can you see that? It's beautiful. And you can see the caravan from the outside, and it's the traveling library. So this piece, I already have this one, which is regular size. And let me have a look at the number of stitches. So this one, interesting. So this one is considered as regular. Okay, so the width is quite long, but not as tall as the other pieces. So in terms of width, it's A25, and the height is 295. And if I remember correctly, the max size is slight increase from A25 to 999, which I believe is the maximum width that you can go, maybe due to the software or whatever, or maybe fabric. And the height, I think it's about 300 something. If anybody knows, you can update me, but it's not vastly different, because when we're looking at this spec, and we're kind of thinking, well, there's not really meaningful having a super size, because it's not going to be vastly different. But then again, from A25 to 999, there's still, fair number of increase in stitches. So now the super size, probably someone requested it, and so now it's out on Heaven and Earth. So this is the situation, and I'm really kind of intrigued, because it's not a massive increase. So I'm just thinking, whether the stitchers, you guys would prefer the super size, because I was thinking, that piece just seems so epic. It's a perfect candidate for a really large, as a large project. Alison says, I fell down outside the steps. Oh dear, Alison, I hope everything's okay. I hope you didn't hurt yourself too badly. Yes, the best scenario is when you fell over is, the worst injuries is the pride. Okay, other than that, hopefully everything is in one piece. Everything's one piece, and it's quite okay. We're here for you, for moral support. If you need a hug, we can have a group hug, okay? 1, 2. And Sola says, I'd rather have a bad day stitching with lots of frogging than a good day at work. Oh, yes. I'm not sure. I'd rather have a good day at work than frogging at this point. But this is part of a learning process, isn't it? As a stitcher, I resent frogging quite a lot. But I don't want it, I don't want it to be that way. I want to feel positive about frogging. I'll try. I want to find the positive side of frogging. So chat, if you have some insight to share, what can we learn from massive frogging? Okay, we're not talking about frogging for 10 stitches. We're talking about 2,000. Show me the positive. Show me the positive things that I can get out of it. So I'm stitching pretty light color here. Maybe I can zoom in just a little bit for you. Is there a horse in the piece? I can't remember. I know there's some animals. Hi, Clara. Vadui says, I want to report till I'm working an old project that I put away, so not one project anymore. Guys, breaking news. Vadui is not monogamous anymore. Vadui is cheating. Yeah, finally. So Vadui she's joined the group for a little bit now, but she's been monogamous all this time. And finally, she's straying from her main quest. It's nice to have a little bit of side quest, right? You should feel great about that. So I hope you're enjoying it. Oh, Vadui says it's a paper chart and I can't park. Because Vadui is quite into Gemma Stitches method, aren't you? So generally probably parking quite a lot. 1, 2, 1, 2. I need to count my way there because 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Suzanne says, I think you should do a little at a time. I think this is referring to frogging. I agree. I think divide and conquer generally is probably better for sanity, isn't it, Suzanne? Particularly when we're talking about that many stitches. Yes, that's kind of how I think I should be doing as well. Maybe just a few stitches. So I think my strategy is going to be with the Gikarouge situation is to kind of go to maybe move to a different direction, going up or right side a little bit more, and just keep stitching, right? Like it never happened, and occasionally come back to that area and undo a few stitches at a time. I try to do it, guys. I try to do the blue stitches under the orange cat's belly. And I think I managed about 10, 15, and it took me a long time to do. And the reason being, I'm stitching 28 counts. I think it's a lot easier if you're doing 25 or 14 even. But 28 is a beast to frog. So that's the added challenge there. But it's okay. I'm you know, I'm ready for a challenge. I can do it. 10 stitches at a time. Maybe it's going to take 10 years to undo, but I don't care. Hey, Maddie Stitches is here. And Clara says, but Yogi, you always make it look so easy. Before we knew it, all the naughty stitches are gone. Really? Do you think? I don't think I have any projects that requires this much frogging. And as I said, because it's 28 counts, is actually very tricky. Sarah says the two things you can truly control are your attitude and your effort. Indeed, yes. You know, we have no control over external situation like the internet, but we have control over how we deal with it, right? It's okay. It's only internet. If we get kicked out, we just come back. So what? But obviously, if it's completely down, it's not good. Please don't, internet, behave. Susan says, at least you get to save the other stitches and fabric. Yes, I mean, the whole piece is still fine. If I zoom out the entire piece, right, just look at how large the fabric is. That's a tiny little bit that I have to frog. It's not a problem. It could have been so much worse, because if I just kept going to the left and complete all the pencils, then it'll be a true tragedy. It was not bad. I discovered it quick enough. And I think the lesson I take away from it would be, maybe I need to refrain from traveling too far, because I was going a little bit, you know, I got a little bit carried away. I thought I could just travel everywhere. So I need to be mindful with my traveling library as well, because these are the two pieces on 28 counts that I'm stitching this way. I literally just wander everywhere and just pick and choose whatever I stitch. Maybe I need to be super mindful about that, so it won't happen again. So it will be a positive thing for me to learn. No extreme cross country for Yogi at this point. Nikki's going to be so disappointed. Janine says, if I had to frog 2,000 stitches, I think that would call for at least 3 cigarette breaks. Is that positive? Probably not. Well, positive for the cigarette company because you're smoking more. Alison says, got a grazed knee. I bruised like a peach. Oh no, no one's seen. There's no one around me. It was almost pitch black. Good. So there's, you know, you can just pretend it never happened. Yes. I'm glad you're okay. Solar Wind says, I don't like frogging, but even frogging is progress. You're correcting a mistake, or maybe it's a design change you made on the fly. Yes. And maybe I'm going to get really good at frogging. How's that? Unlikely, but you know, who knows? If you do it 2,000 times, you should get a little bit better. Okay. So this one, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Joy says frog is kind of soothing, gathering all the fluff that I'm marking and anticipation you can stitch all these stitches again. Well, there you go. That's a different perspective, isn't it? The great thing about fixing mistakes is that you can have a new start, right? I like that. So I think the best policy for me is try not to rush it. Try not, just few stitches at a time whenever I feel like it. And eventually it's going to get done. Because I've got a vast area to stitch. I shouldn't worry about it. Here we go. A little bit of a few stitches for the closing. And onto something a bit stronger. A01, E01. Lizzie says, also Yogi, Library of Cats may be sent to licensing this week. So what do you guys think about Library of Cats? I think the illustration has been posted. It has not been charted. I'd love to see your views, because I have mixed feelings about that piece. I'd like to hear yours. Let me have a little bit of coffee. Alison says, Yogi, do you have a magnifier? Maybe might make it easy to see the 28 counts. No, I don't have a magnifier. Do you think that will make it easy, though? I think it's the fact the stitches are so tight because they're so small. Comparing to even 25. It just feels like when I frog, even 25, there's a bit more space there. With 28, everything is kind of just... maybe my stitch is just so secure. I've done such a great job securing the stitches. They just wouldn't budge. So if you have frog, particularly 28 counts, smaller stitches, if you have any tips, I'd love to know. We can learn from this, right? One, two. Janine says that's the key when it comes to stitching method. I do not travel far and I stay focused in one area. Yes, Janine, like this way of stitching, that's kind of my default. Well, not default. I think with full coverage, I started with parking because I was struggling for when I started doing full coverage, and I discovered parking that way. And since then, I've been doing a lot of parking and shorter distance as well. So I don't travel too far. And then I learned how to cross country. But even then, I was traveling quite short distance. I think before I started the channel, I was pretty much doing very short distance cross country. And then I just got a little bit adventurous, particularly watching, people like Nikki and some of you do, traveling a little bit further. So I got slightly more courageous doing it. But unfortunately, I can't count At least not very well. I can count to 5, but that's about it. So I missed the entire block because I was looking the sort of areas that I started making mistakes. I literally stitched the same block twice, if you know what I mean. Because I was very keen to travel to the left. So, but I thought, well, I thought it was being clever. I thought if I just have connected stitches, you know, so I didn't stitch the block, all the stitches fully. I just try to find connected stitches and count my way there. And I thought that would make it a little bit safer. Maybe in theory, yes, but ultimately, if you just miscount the entire block, you know, situation can still happen. So maybe I need to stay a little bit close. And maybe revising the way I stitch traveling library as well to stay a bit safer. And talking about traveling library, have you guys been watching Komari's sessions? Oh my goodness. She must be stitching when she's asleep because she's only started a few days ago. And the last stream, it was yesterday, I think. I had to look. Oh my God, I had to look away because she's got so much done. It's just, I have no explanation to this strange phenomena. It's like looking at something that is like, you know, Egyptian pyramid or something really mysterious. I don't know how it happened. And she just kept stitching. She's not bored with all the browns. She starts. She goes top to bottom. I think she goes. I don't know how far she's planning to go, but she's stitching the first, maybe not even a page high. Maybe only 5 blocks, and she just she goes across the top at this point, and. Yes, it's very scary. And it's only been like a few days, not even a week. Hi, Rins. Not Rins, Rin runs. Susan says regarding the Library of Cats, there was a nice details that include winter reading nook. I noticed that. Yes, I recognize those 2 kitties. So I think it looks like a collage of all the previous pieces. I don't know, because the other ones I don't recognize, but then I don't know her entire catalog. Maybe it's kind of a sampler, you know, it's kind of a sampler of her pieces that you get to stitch a little bit of everything from other pieces. Hi, Grace Houston. Grace says, hi, Yogi and everyone. I said hi earlier, but you didn't see me. Oh, I'm so sorry, Grace. I see you, okay? With my little eyes. Yes, great to have you. And Lynn as well, and Lynn Kershaw. Lynn Kershaw says, hello, Yogi and fellow stitchers. Hope you're all stitching or stitch happy. Indeed. And Lakika as well. Hello. Good to see you. And let me switch color here. Lizzie says, I think it's regarding the library of cats. She says, I love it because all the kitties and it's encouraging adoption. Really? Do you think? And she says, I just wanted to dive into the picture and hear them all powering the entire library of cats. Oh, talking about adoption, cat adoption. I came across this video. I don't know whether you've seen videos like that before. I don't know where it is that they're doing this. It's somewhere in America. I saw this video and I've seen similar videos before, but I came across one yesterday and I wanted to talk to you about it. It's basically a whole group of people. I think it's some sort of animal shelter with dogs and cats. The one I saw was cat adoption, and all these people, they just go in and maybe sit there with cats are waiting to be adopted, right? But they're not allowed to do anything. They're all they can do is just sit there and just breathe. And the cats, one by one, they come in and they're allowing the cats to choose the owner. And it's extraordinary because some cats literally just walk around as complete strangers and suddenly just choose one person and just hop on their chest or hop on their lap. It was extraordinary. And it's not AI, it's real, I think. And yes, I don't know where it was they did. They kind of do this type of method. But it's just amazing. Just allowing cats to choose you. I love it. Aldana says, I love it. And I think it's referring to the cats, library of cats, right, Aldana? And says, I love it. I believe it's going to be my first hate pattern. Oh, amazing. And Aldana says, there's so much going on and tons of cats. Couldn't be better. Yes, I think if you love cats, that's paradise, isn't it? And also Aldana has just started parking, literally, just like, a couple of days ago. And yes, amazing. It could be your first hate, right? That's a great idea. I don't know when it's going to come out. So you have some time to prepare to warm up. Samantha says, I use magnifier on my portrait 16 counts. That's fair. That's fair. Let me pick the next color. Let me come to this end, actually. Why not? It's not very confetti, so it's really nice to stitch. All right, then. 612. 612. Here we go. Sarah says, I like the library of cats, but I will wait for super-size max color. You know what? It's probably a very good candidate for a super-size. Aldana, think about it, okay? Don't rush to get a regular size because it's got so much going on. And, very frequently people kind of wondering about what patterns work better for supersize or maybe mini, right? And we're trying to determine what type of patterns work better for various sizes. But this pattern, if you look at the mock-up, it's got a lot going on there. A lot going on there. So if you ever think about going supersizing, then it's a very good candidate, I think. Alison says magnify allows for better accuracy for picking out individual stitches. I use a magnifier all the time. Well, I presume. Yes. Hello, Wild Fox Stitchery. Welcome back. And Wild Fox is working out while watching us. She's on treadmill. Amazing. Suzanne says, I saw that also with dogs too. So sweet, let them choose. I know, it's amazing. And particularly for cats as well. You know, cats really choose you. And I'm sure dogs as well. And it was just so moving. And some of them are blindfolded as well. So they're not even allowed to make eye contact with the cats or dogs. And yes, it's just so moving to see their reactions when they get chosen. I love it. So I think if you go to shelters like that, you probably can't even choose, you know, whether you want a kitten or older cats or whatever, or any, you know, black and white or whatever. You basically you have to kind of just follow, just let the fate and the kitty decide. I really love that. And Heather has been a member for 4 months. Thank you so much. Great to see you, Heather. Suzanne says, if I do that one, it's going to have to be supersize max color. I think, yes, I think that will probably work out a lot better, because you don't want to keep stitching and then everything kind of comes out a little bit fuzzy. You know, you want to be we want to be able to see the cats, what they're doing. Maybe they have facial expressions. You want all the details. Aldana says, if the kitties don't have the great details on regular size, maybe I will. I'm going to do. You know what? You know, from my experience, I only have one super size. But if you think about it, Aldana, regular size contains super, you know, max colors, 240, you know, maximum. And the same number goes to larger size, super size as well. So larger fabric, but contains same number of color changes. Well, not color changes, but you know, it's charted differently, but the number of colors. So in a way, at least for sleep time, supersize, I don't find it that confetti, to be honest. And I don't know whether it's just the chart itself or maybe because it's supersize. So people tend to think if we go supersize, it's more challenging. But if you go max colors, you know, if you do the math, it's it may be even easier when it comes to confetti. Heather says with the stitching shelf, they broke it up into a number of quick stitches for even more details. I want to see if I would apply, that will apply to the Library of Cats. Oh, do you mean a cropped out section? Yes, because with quick stitches, if you're really brave, you can go up to supersize. Then you get all the details you want. But it's going to be tricky for a Library of Cats. You know, which part do you want the quick stitch to be? over there. Ring says all 5 of my Aimee Stewart shelves are supersized max color. The confetti isn't really that ridiculous. Yes, I totally believe you, because even though I only have one supersize, it just feels a little bit more easygoing comparing to regular size max colors. So it may be a miss to think supersize is actually harder to do. It's just bigger, more stitching, but hey guys, we're still live. We're doing well. Wonderful. Heather says, I'll get a quick stitch of all the parts in max color, then put them all together. Oh, that's ambitious. I was about to ask, because quite a lot of pieces, they have quick stitch versions. I was about to ask if anyone knows whether you could have quick, from a 4-piece, whether you can have multiple quick stitches from different parts of the, different part of the artwork. And I presume the answer is probably yes. But the thing is, though, it's going to be challenging to find the size of fabric that's going to depend. Well, it really depends on how big they turn out to be. But I suppose you can request, for instance, with a full chart, for instance, you can divide it into 8 pieces and make each piece quick stitch supersize. How's that, Heather? Is that big enough? Oh, yes, with the shell pieces, quite a lot of Aimee Stewart artwork. They're in the shell format. My vintage toys, which ones? Sweet Shop is also in shops as well. And yes, I have heard stitchers stitch them based on seasons. Okay. Very nice. Sola says, air stitching today. White flowers in 4 seasons. Which part is it? Aimee Stewart. 4 seasons. White flowers. Oh, that sounds scary. Adana says, I'm too young in this hobby to be afraid of confetti yet. I'm a cross stitcher since yesterday. Literally from yesterday, right? And yes, I remember, because yesterday during the Dimensions sale, Adana received her kit, the first cross stitching kit, and she joined us live. I'm stitching the first ever cross stitching project, and she's parking already like a trooper. Yes, well, that's good because, Aldana at this stage, she's fearless. She's ready for challenge. So do not be afraid of, confetti. All it is, all it is, just changing colors, right? No biggie, right, everyone? To be honest, if I had to choose between confetti, heavy confetti versus air stitching, I would go for confetti anytime. Obviously, if it's air stitching confetti, then I'll probably run, okay? But, if I had to choose one or the other, I'll go for it. I much prefer confetti. Janine says, I wish I had gotten my marvelous circus in supersize because there's so many elements. So definitely Library of Cats supersize. Yes, I think, yes. I think the circus piece is also kind of shell based, isn't it? So a lot of details. So I think pieces like that, they're great candidates for supersize. It depends. Okay, let me move down a little bit down here. Three, 7, 2. 372. Three, 7, 2 green. Heather says, looking at Storyteller's View, that's just released supersized max color. It's 999Y. Yes, we were just talking about that, which is not much bigger than regular size. I would like to get 2 halves of that, both in supersize. 2 half. So how are you going to do that, Heather? Because we maybe before you join, we were talking about those 3 pieces and the supersize as well, and comparing the stitch numbers. The regular size is about 820 something width, and supersize is 999, right? So still a little bit bigger, but not significantly. So, Heather, are you planning to request quick stitch, 1 half each, and make them supersize? Oh, that's a cunning plan. But how are you going to find fabric that's going to accommodate that? Can you find fabric that's large enough to do that? Solomon says, Yogi, did everything turn out all right yesterday? I lost you suddenly. Did you lose your Wi-Fi or your electricity? No. It was similar to what happened today earlier on. Literally, I was just kicked out. I think the internet wasn't down because I was able to join the chat for a little bit to say goodbye. But it was very similar to what happened earlier on. I think just for like half a second, because the upload signal may be slightly unstable, and that's all it takes to keep me out of the stream. So even though the internet was still on, but I was out of the stream. So everything's okay. Sometimes, the connection plays up a little bit. So I think it happened a few months ago. Similar. For a few days, the signals was just really unstable. So we had a few streams. We had to do it in chunks. but we managed. We managed. Heather says, Yogi, there are some designs. They have multiple quick stitch designs of different parts, some of Aimee Stewart's bookshop. I think, well, I don't know how it works, but maybe Heather, you know. So when you request a quick stitch based on the full piece, right, can you specify where exactly sort of you want, or you just go, well, roughly to the left and to the right, and it's for Michelle to decide. Because if you're planning to stitch both multiple pieces together, you probably need to be slightly more precise. And Lynn says, hi Yogi, not in my partner's good books. He woke me up at 3:40 a.m. in the chair, TV on, stitching on my lap. Tired now. Who? Your partners. Oh, your little hamsters. Or guinea pigs. Guinea pigs. I can't tell the difference, okay? I think they're different, right? Guinea pigs, hamsters. Star Trek, Star Wars, oh my goodness. Potato, potato. Yes. Well, they woke you up, have they? Oh, naughty, naughty. No treats for them today. And if you're tired, you just relax. Just listen to Yogi in the chat. Oh, that's right, Aldana, because your kit came with paper chart, hasn't it? So you don't have the digital pattern. So how do you manage your park threads? Because I think parking is really tricky when you don't have markup apps to track the progress. It's doable. I'm sure it's doable, but I think it's just more challenging. Grace Harson says, I started stitching shelf by seasons, but changed it recently to stitch a shelf by shelf. I want to finish at least one shelf in my lifetime. Yes, so every stitcher has different strategies. Jane, you made it. Jane says, finally made it. Good morning, all. Yes, Jane is from Australia. And Jane, Jane says, love this one. Looks so beautiful. Yes, and really cozy as well. Look at my baker lady here. She's smiling like a lunatic because she's happy. She's baking every day. Let me end this thread here. And good morning to you and all our Australian and friends in New Zealand as well. I hope the heat wave is not too bad. It's really, really strange talking about heat wave. But it's real. It's real over there. It's really, really hot, isn't it? 372. Heather says the height, so referring to the storyteller's view, the height is shorter than the width. So put it lengthwise on the fabric. So the short side goes across 54 inches. So Heather, why do you think Heaven and Earth Hate actually stops at 999? Is it more of a technical restriction rather than fabric? Because according to you, you can just keep going with the width because the height is not very tall. You can keep going for a little bit. Is it just the restriction? If anybody knows, maybe if you do charting, why 999? Is it more of a technical restriction? Because going from 820 to 999, we're talking how many stitches? Over 100, right? 150-ish. 150 is 15 blocks, isn't it? In terms of width, 15 blocks is not that wide. So we're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, roughly around, let me zoom out a little bit. The size in terms of width between supersize and regular is really, literally just about this much, maybe 15 blocks in terms of width. And height is not that different either. It's proportional, isn't it? So, yeah. If I had to choose, I'd probably still go for supersize, but, you know, it's not that different. Hey, busy mom. And Heather says, I don't know how the ordering of quick stitches go, but I think I've seen people refer to requesting specific types. Ah, maybe, you know, if you're determined to have it much larger, you can just communicate the concept to Michelle, just to explain to her kind of what you're trying to achieve, and maybe she can work around that. And then the rest of us can reap the benefit. Terrible, isn't it? Oh, Lynn said, Yogi, my boyfriend, woke me up, not, not the guinea pigs. Okay, sincere apologies. The guinea pigs are innocent, okay? They've done nothing wrong. It's a boyfriend. Oh, naughty, naughty. No treat for boyfriends for at least a week. As a punishment. 3A64. 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 It's light brown. Oops. 3A64. Clara says, when I did paper charts, I used to put a small dot with my color pencil, and it told me that I have a part thread. I suppose, yes, you just need a different marking, different way to mark it. I suppose it's kind of doable. But still, you know, if you're used to having like pattern keeper and stuff, when you just select a pattern, everything lights up. You don't have to send out a search party to find them. That's the best part. I couldn't believe it when I first found Pattern Keeper. I was thinking, wow, that's like dream come true. Aldana says I'm making an X over every stitch I make on my chart. So Aldana is working with paper chart. And for parking, I make an L. Oh, I make an L mark on the bottom left corner. And when I complete the stitch, I just make, oh, okay. I just make an X over it. It's working quite well. How clever are you, Aldana? Guys, do you know what Aldana is doing? So she's got a paper chart. So she would do a cross per stitch, which is labor intensive, right? Because some people just draw a line. But Aldana is parking as well. So she would do, let me read it one more time, on the bottom left corner. And so I think she just do part of the X. And then when she knows that's a part thread. And when she's completed that stitch, she would do a full cross. That is so clever, Aldana. That's very clever. Luckily, by the time I started parking, I already have pattern keeper, or I wouldn't dare. Hi, Anne Louise. Good day to you too. Welcome. Heather says, I think the program they use to convert the pattern has the maximum stitches count of 999. I had a program with that limit. Interesting. So it's more of a technical issue, not the fabric. Probably when they designed the charting software, they just couldn't imagine anybody would want to stitch anything larger than that. But they were wrong. We want more. Let's have a look. So far, so good. Solar Wind says, Wind Stitch, my design software only goes to 999 stitches. Maybe it's the same with Hade. Lots of designers use Wind Stitch. Yes, sounds like it. Lynn says, Yogi, 15 rows on 25 count is an awful lot more stitching for each row. Will be an additional. What are you referring to? Are you referring to are you referring to Kamari's piece? Clara says, speaking of parking, in Saga, you can change the color on parking symbol instead of it being the same color as the highlight stitches. Yes, you can. So normally I set it to because my normal highlight border, you can see it's normally blue. My parking, I tend to set it to kind of red or pink, so I can tell them apart. I still find it quite cluttered sometimes because they're, even though it's in diamond shape. Let me show you what it looks like, just for those who don't know. Okay, so you can see the blue borders are the highlighted stitches, and for me to park, for instance, let me zoom into this one. If I just, oops. Oh, it doesn't. Yes, here we go. Oh, there you go. I set it to red. Can you see what's happening? But even though it's in diamond shape instead of a square, I still find it very cluttered. I much prefer pattern keeper. You know, you just have a very discreet sort of triangle. So because if you have them the same color, you won't be able to tell the difference. One, two. 1, 2. How to say, so in most cases the super size is almost twice as large, twice as many stitches each way as the regular. Yes, I think this piece is slightly tricky to resize, isn't it? And also, if you do mini, I don't know if anybody wants to do a mini with this piece. I don't think it's going to work well at all. Hopefully they don't do it. But yes, with mini, it's going to look, I don't know what it's going to look like with mini. One, two. Let me take a sip of my coffee. Heather says, the storyteller's supersized chart has 1.4 stitches for every one stitch in the regular size. Oh, 1.4, so it's not quite twice. Yes, because of the width restriction, I'm guessing. Busy Mom says, did you see stitches so beautiful? Is it going to start charting Chiramaketi charts? Really? Interesting. I wonder if they're going to chart the same artwork that Haidt has got, or maybe a different selection. If it's the same piece of artwork, you know. I'd love to see if it's charted differently. Clara says, oh, the parking color. You mean the same color on Maggie? Yes, by default, I don't know what colors they set those colors to, but yeah, they have to be different. Otherwise, it's going to be very confusing. Lane is calling for tea break. Yes, go have a break. Here we go. Gonna come down a little bit more. A few more stitches here. 1, 2. Maybe I shouldn't wander too far. I need to learn my own lessons. No, I'm gonna end it here. I was very tempted to kind of move downwards. Let me see if I can. Three A 6 4. Is it chocolate time? Oh yeah, it is. Time really flies. Yes, it's 40 past 10. It is chocolate time, isn't it? Let's have a little chocolate break, guys. Today I have a slightly different chocolate because I've run out of my buttons, and I can't get them on Amazon. I think there's out of stock. So today I'm gonna have something slightly different, and let me know what you are having as well, snacky wise. Chocolate time, everyone. Time out, time out. You know, there's time to stitch and there's time to have chocolate. Here we go. Down, down, down. 85% cacao. A little bit higher than what I normally have. So normally the regular ones, it's about 74%. This is 85. It's still edible for me. I have tried 90. That was a little bit much, It's robust, dark, okay? This is a serious business, serious chocolate. And Janine says, I think it's referring to Chira Marchetti. She says, it is the same artwork, but I bet snake in size and finger in detail. Which piece are we talking about? Are we talking about a specific piece? Suzanne says, I just had some chips while I was doing my grocery shopping. Are we talking about crisps or chips? Chunky chips, maybe crisps. Grocery shopping. So this is what I'm having today. It's brand new pack as well. Let me do the unboxing on the opening of my new chocolate, okay? Guys, look at this. The unboxing of my chocolate. From the back. Oh, there's a very clever. There's a little marking here that I could peel. Whoops. It's not as easy. These people designing the products, they're not thinking properly. There's a marking there, but there's no way for me to open this easily. Oh, there you go. Here we go. Dun, dun, dun. Suzanne says, I get that chocolate sometimes. Is it the percentage you're getting? This is, I hope it's not too bitter. I hope it's not too bitter. Oh, I love it. I love the tin foil. I don't like, you know, even though I love Montezuma, but they have changed from tin foil to wax paper. I don't like it. I like this. Chocolate has to come with tin foil. Can you hear it? You need to be able to listen to that sound as you tear it open, okay? This is good stuff, good stuff. Here we go, unboxing of my new chocolate. Dun, dun, dun. There you go. Oh, I love the tin foil. So much better. And Susan says people are chat are buying the chocolate buttons. That's why Amazon runs out. Yes, it's just out of stock. I haven't been able to get them. And oh, here we go. Oh, big chunk, really big. Look, really big pieces. Very ambitious. They're going, yes, that's one portion. Okay, normally it's about quarter of this. Here we go. Listen to the snap. Hear that? Oh, there you go. This is slow stitching / slow chocolate eating channel. Okay, here we go. The recommendation is a big chunk like this. Okay, I'll do my best. Cheers, everyone. Solar says 85%. I love it. Yes, and I love the tinfoil. I love the wrapper. That's part of like chocolate experience. Here we go. I like the texture. It's quite soft. You kind of instantly it's melting in the mouth. That's a sign of a good chocolate. Very nice. I need to be careful not to have chocolate on my fingers because it's melting instantly. Very nice. Oh, it's actually really good. It's quite strong. It's got a lot of chocolate for sure. No kidding around. But it's got just a right amount of sweetness for me. Because I can't have it if it's totally bitter. And 90%. I can't remember what brand I had. It was a little bit too much. But this is just perfect. Oh, I like this one. 85. Really good. Highly recommend it. I think this brand, you can probably get it anywhere, right? This is quite a known brand. 85% is perfect. Perfect. Oh, that's a nice chocolate hit. Yes, I get it. And it goes really well with my coffee as well. Yum. Yes, the chocolate buttons, they're slightly sweeter because it's got about 74%. So the lower the percentage, normally they kind of add more sugar to it. So I normally wouldn't go below 70%. That's my bottom line. And I think 85 is probably a ceiling. I wouldn't go higher. Nice. Yeah, it's quite a common brand, isn't it? It's good chocolate, really, really good chocolate. Janine says they even sell that in the US. Go buy it, Janine, when you go to Walmart, okay? It's very nice. It melts instantly. I love it. But some brands, even with high percentage of cacao, a lot of times you have to like warm up quite a lot in the mouth before it starts to melt. But this one, it melts instantly. Very nice. And my baker lady is very happy. Beautiful. And we have one more piece. The chunks are quite large, but quite thin. It's not very thick. They're quite doable. All right then. Renewed energy for power stitching. Okay, 161. 161. Well, it's so creamy. It's really creamy in the mouth. Very nice. I'll definitely buy it again. Let me zoom in a little bit more for you. So I was looking at the Library of Cats, and I don't mind the fact that they take different parts of different charts and kind of, put together almost like a museum. You know what I mean? Maybe that's the concept. Aimee Stewart's kind of taking all elements from other pieces that involves cats and then build the library. The only part I have reservation with that piece is the bottom shelf. I don't know whether you can kind of recall with your mind. I haven't got a mock-up yet. But the bottom shelf, I love the top one and maybe the second one as well. It's very cozy. I love cozy stitching. But the bottom one kind of turned into something a little bit different. It's got like buildings and stuff like that. I'm not super sure. And also the color scheme, I think I might have issues stitching it. If I'm stitching from the top, it's going to take me decades, okay, before I get to the bottom if I do stitch it. But I do worry about the bottom layer. And also in terms of images, I'm not that crazy about. I probably need to look at it more closely because the markup is not very big. Anna says we have that brand as well. I don't know which country this is. I think it's French. Let me have a look. Oh, Switzerland. Okay. So definitely, Suzanne, you will have this brand. it's Swiss chocolate. So I think it's very good. So you can all go out and buy some of this chocolate. 85%. Definitely recommend it. Anna says, I had a 90%, but it's a little bit bitter. Yes, I think a while back, I tried 90%. I'm not sure which brand I had. Maybe it was green and black. It was a little bit bitter for me. I think 85 is probably maximum. The maximum that I would go. I know some people can have 100% aliens. Just one stitch here. Here we go. 161. Jackie Turner says, where did you see Library of Cats? I think somebody posted a mock-up, probably illustration version of the piece. It hasn't been charted yet. Exactly, Suzanne. That's like homemade, homemade chocolate for you. Okay. Let me have a look. I think last time when we did this lady, I think we agree that this thing in the background is kind of some sort of display shelf, isn't it? Let me show you this. It looks like some sort of a display shelf for bakery items, right? So a lot of green and blue. So my app is frozen again, I think. Let me have a look. It doesn't move. Let me restart it again. And I need to keep the app view going so, you know, you can catch me when I make some sort of horrendous mistake. It's your job, you know? You signed up for it. So let me restart the view here. Here we go. Anna say I'm going to bed. My cat is not letting me stitch. Yes, they're the bosses, aren't they? Oh, Anna Louise says Lindt chocolates like even make Easter eggs. Yes, they're quite popular. They're quite popular. But surprisingly good, because sometimes I kind of have this idea of chocolates. I tend to go for brands that are more independent, you know, slightly quirky brands that people don't know about. But there are a lot of, you know, brands like this, or green and black as well. They're actually pretty decent, pretty decent. See you later, Lizzie. Joy says, the last time I looked, Sweden and Switzerland, they were quite, what did I say? No, Suzanne is in Sweden. No, that's right. Did I say sweet? Oh no, this is Switzerland. No, this is Swiss chocolate. But not that far away, is it? Suzanne. I know. Me and geography, we don't mingle, okay? Yes, it's Switzerland, not Sweden. There you go. Let me see if my app works now. Yes, it does. So there's some purple stitches there. I quite fancy doing that. Over there. 3835. 3835. Suzanne says my brother always jokes about it being Switzerland instead of Sweden. Yes, I know. I'm not the only one, okay? I'm not the only one. Here we go. 1, 2, 1. So we need to count quite carefully. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh dear. All these colors kind of just blended together, and I've got, because my app is not totally up to date with the stitches, so it's a little bit tricky. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, got it. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lynn says, Yogi, my hoop won't keep my Ada tight, and the screw is tight as it will go. As tight as it will go. Is it because your fabric is quite stiff, or is it the hoop? It just wouldn't tighten. Sometimes if you have really stiff fabric, it's a little bit tricky. One, two, let me see. So this bit is over here. Okay. And sometimes when I put my fabric on my hoop, let me just have a look over here. I actually leave the fabric on the hoop for a little bit. I'll just walk away and do other things and come back and try to tighten it again. Sometimes you just need some time to kind of rest on the hoop and settle. That's a very good point. Clara says, is the screw the type you can use a screwdriver? Definitely only get hoops that you can tighten with a screwdriver. Those ones you use hands to do it, you can never get it super tight. There. One, two, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. The clothing, the dress for the baker lady is surprisingly confetti. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. One, two, three. And also for the new members particularly, or new people in the chat, Fridays is a rest day. Okay, so Fridays I teach classes a little bit later, and also kind of just gonna have a bit more home time on Fridays. But Saturday we're gonna come back this week. We're gonna do a double stream, so one stream for members a little bit earlier before LaSalle, and then regular time for everybody. We're doing the Aimee Sal, okay, on Saturday. So double streams if you remember. Otherwise, we're doing our epic Saturday Aimee Stewart Sal together. So just so you know, tomorrow's rest day, okay? Do not send out search party for Yogi, okay? It's a rest day. It's a rest day. Just Heather, it's a family show, family show. Oh, we're really civilized. We just have some food together, okay? I think with wooden hoops, we're dealing with wood, right, or bamboo. I don't know what material this is, so it's kind of slightly alive. So sometimes when you screw it tight, it feels like it's not going any further. Sometimes I just leave it for a couple of hours and come back, and suddenly I can screw tighter. I think sometimes the hoop just need to kind of rest and kind of just settle in a shape. So it's very different if you're doing Q-snap and stuff like that. And you probably notice I have not broken a single hoop for a little while, okay? So I'm doing a little bit better. 3A35, 3A35. Susan, noodles with noodles. Oh dear, what are you like, guys? Rochelle, hello. Rochelle says, hello, Stitchy friends. Just got off plane. One plane and waiting for another. Wow, where are you going, Rochelle? And yes, how nice to have you. And Chrissy has joined us as well. Says, hello everyone. I'm also stitching vintage baker. Wonderful. I'm stitching the pie right now. Oh, the pie stitching. I think the next session, I'll probably go back to the cherry pie and do a little bit more. Yes, really delicious. It makes you hungry though. Every time I stitch this piece, I just want to bake. Just anything. Just let me bake something. I don't care. And I think in terms of baking, I think I'm most proud of is when I managed to make crumpets. I think crumpets is slightly, unusual process to do. And I followed the recipe and it came out with all the bubbles and everything. I was really surprised. So I'm very happy with that. One of my proudest moments when it comes to baking. Okay, I'm going to do 647. Six, 4, 7. Oh, Lane, are you stitching the Maggie Ada as well? The infamous Maggie Ada. It seems like that particular kid, at least for some regions, because I don't remember my fabric being that stiff. And I stitched, Maggie twice already with original fabric. I think maybe depends on where you get, where that particular, pack is being made from. I think some of you just get the stiffest Ada on the planet. Rochelle is flying to New York for a meeting, but have to stop over Chicago to pick up some samples. And the man from the showroom is meeting me in the airport. Wow, amazing! The high-flying Rochelle. I love New York. Actually, I've only been to New York once. It's the only city I've ever been in America. So I hope you have some time to relax as well, not just work. I remember with New York, the reason I loved it was the smell of New York. It's going to sound really weird because every city has got its own smell. And I remember I was just thinking, well, I think I can live here. It's just the vibe, Sometimes you go to a place, it's the vibe. You feel like, oh, I can do this. Rachel says, I love to go to New York, but I could never live there. Oh, I think I could. Lynn says, Yogi, I wash the fabric. So does that help that you wash the fabric? So it's not as stiff anymore. So you're not stitching cardboard. Rachel says, Yogi, that's true. For me, Tokyo smells so good. I could live there. Wow. Yes, I think there's something about the smell of a city as well. And London has got its very specific smell as well. So if I ever, have to go somewhere and come back, I always feel really relieved when I smell the smell of London when I come back to Heathrow. It's interesting, isn't it? It's like human as well. Human. Hopefully, it's not body odor. Okay, That's not what I'm talking about. But every human, every person, and cats as well. Cats have their own smell as well. Very specific. I'm not talking about BO. Okay, I'm talking about very subtle smell. I didn't expect to have such dark colors for the clothing. Or maybe this is the pie. Maybe this is the pie she's holding because I haven't checked the position of where I am. I think the lady's holding a pie. Solar says London must smell like ocean. Lovely sense. It's so close by. No, London doesn't smell like ocean at all. I don't think it's that close by the ocean. I mean, the entire country is kind of an island, but the ocean is very far away if you're in London. No, it doesn't smell like ocean. I cannot explain or describe the smell, but it's the smell of London. And I think every location has a special smell. No, Solar, I think it's fair to assume that, Britain must be big on seafood and everything because it's literally an island, but it kind of isn't. It doesn't have that island feel to it. Joy says, I also washed the Maggie Ada first rinse and the water was almost brown. Oh, so it's stained as well. Why is it brown? So the starch is brown, but the fabric is also brown, isn't it? I think the original fabric that comes in with the kids is probably darker than mine because I checked on Google to see what fabric the kid is calling for. It's calling for beige, but and so I order beige DMC fabric, but I think just looking at your webs and also my previous, the previous fabric, it seems to be a little bit darker, or maybe it's just stained for some reason. But the thing is, though, if it's got brown starch, let's say if you keep stitching without washing the fabric first, and then at the end, when you finish an entire piece and you go and rinse the piece, I wonder if the brown stain is going to stain the stitches. You know what I mean? I hope not. But 1, 2, 3, 4. Lynn says, I love London, but I'm scared of underground train doors. You should be. You should be, Lynn. It's quite precarious. Yes, the doors. I've seen people regularly getting their leg or their backpack get sandwiched between the doors. And sometimes they don't open because technically there's safety measure, if anything is stuck between the doors when the doors try to close, they should reopen to free up either a person or an object. But they don't. They get stuck. I've seen people, struggling, having like a leg or arm or clothing get sandwiched by the train. I mean, it probably depends on which line. I think Northern Line is probably one of the oldest. Jubilee, for instance, is a lot newer. So maybe it doesn't happen as frequently. But yes, there's some older lines. The trains are pretty old. Everything's old. And it doesn't work very well sometimes. So you should be scared. Lynn. Oh, that's true, Suzanne. I'm afraid of underground as well for a slightly different reason. I'm afraid of the whole thing, not just the door. So occasionally, if I need to go a little bit further, or for whatever reason I can't cycle to a location, and I do hop on underground. But London Underground is not too bad if you use it for non peak hours. It's a very different story with rush hours. It's a bit of a nightmare and very dangerous, I think, the number of people on the platform. But normally it's not that terrible. It works, you know. And Suzanne just completed a color on a chart. And how many stitches have you got there? Do not tell me just 5. I accidentally finished one color with, I think it was the Quilt Rim by Kim Jacobs. And I had no idea. It just went 0. And I had to look. I think that color, for some reason, concentrated in that area and only had like 20 stitches or something like that. Very low number. So that's my only zeroed color. And Joy says, yes, after seeing the color of the water yesterday, I'm glad I get rid of the starch before stitching. Yes. That's weird, isn't it? Because the starch can be just colorless. It should be. Am I wandering too far? Okay, I'm going to come over here. Ah, but it's quite nice to kind of, you know, zero a number, isn't it? It feels like it's a sense of completion. And yes, I think I forgot. I got sidetracked. I was saying that Saturday, okay, yes, Friday is off, but Saturday we have 2 streams. And so this week with the members, we're going to do side quests, okay? So you can come along and stitch. Well, you can do full coverage if you want to, but, you know, maybe you have some side dishes you like to stitch together. It'll be quite fun as well. We'd love to find out what side dishes you have, because some of you, I know you have started maybe stitching chatelaine or even stamp kits as well, and whatever else that you stitch on the side, a full coverage, bring forward, and I'll share a piece that I started back in 2023 but did not kind of continue, a slightly different kind of stitching. Joy's 99. Enjoy your sleep. Sweet dreams. 99. To Joyce. I think that's a pie she's holding. I like to stitch a little bit more of the pie. Here we go. Here we go. Let's do a little bit of pie stitching. It is. It is the pie. Just right here. All right. So my chart is not totally up to date with all the stitches, but I've got a lot more done on the fabric compared to my chart. Let me see how I can do this. Over here. All right. 727. Seven, two, seven. And would you believe I'm running out of 28, size 28 needles again? I only topped up about 10 packs. John James needles, 28. And now I'm running low. These are the only ones I've got. That's it. Everything else, there are my needle balls. Here we go. Pie stitching coming. 3. Purple. There. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a little bit of air stitchings. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you know that I'm actually stitching, okay? This is not simulation. I'm actually stitching. Michelle, are you saying night-night to Joyce, or are you going to bed? Are you going to bed? And also when for Aimee Stewart patterns, I don't know whether you guys saw the mock-ups being sent. I think it was probably sent by Jackie or somebody on our group. There are two new pieces. There are two new pieces by Aimee Stewart. And one of them I really, really love. Probably I love that piece more than the Library of Cats. But I don't know when they're going to release those charts. 1, 2, 3. Oh dear, I think this one is supposed to be yellow. Let me see if I can fudge it. Just stitch over it. I can't remember the name of the patterns, but there are two together. And I think from the post, sounds like Aimee Stewart has sent the patterns to Heaven and Earth already. But I don't know when they're going to be charted. But I'm looking forward to it. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. One, two. 1, 2. There. Janine says, what's the other chart? I can't remember the name of the charts. There are two together. And I think currently they're, I think Aimee Stewart, from the look, just reading her post, I think to do with puzzle. I think they're kind of hidden objects. That's the idea. The pattern itself, they're really adorable, but the idea is to make them look like those hidden object puzzles that you see sometimes. But I can't remember the title. The title of the charts. There are two different ones. One is kind of like a some sort of a shelf, antique shelves. It's got all sorts of objects, and the other one is like a room, really cozy room. Sarah says, I've been trying a new rotation this week, and last one focus piece, 200 stitches a day on black, and then bonus piece on Saturday. So every day you put 200 stitches on black, and then bonus piece on Saturday. But surely, Sarah, you stitch a lot more than that. Do you just stitch on black most days, or do you do multiple pieces? Oh, and Sarah, yes, Sarah is doing a marathon. Okay, guys, is it next week, Sarah? Is it next week? Sarah's doing a 48-hour marathon spread out in 6 days. 727. Let me just pop this back. So 48 hours, 8 hours a day, and spread out in 6 days, I think. And every day you report back to the group, our Facebook group, and for your progress. And you can report back more frequently if you want. I think last time Sarah was reporting back for the first couple of days. You're reporting back like every few hours, haven't you? So it's a marathon run by Sarah. So aliens all over the world, please come and join Sarah. Okay, it'll be good fun. And Sarah, is there is it just endurance? Is there any sort of milestones you can hit, like per day, or any kind of, you know, prizes you can win? Sarah says 200 on black and black, and about 800 a day on my focus. Oh, so black on black is not focus. So you've got a focus piece, and then on the side you put 200 on black on black. Yes, that's a pretty good strategy, because if you spend all day doing black on black, is it going to be a little bit much? Because it's all black, because it's black on black. So Sarah's very disciplined, very organized. Totally unlike Yogi. All right, so so this one is already done, I think. Two. 640. 640. You know, day to day, I don't even know what I'm going to stitch next, unless it's a sour day. You know, dimensions. Currently, I only have one piece, so I know which one I'm going to be stitching. Otherwise, literally, a lot of times, even just, you know, a couple of hours before the stream, it's not unusual that I don't even know, you know, I don't know which one I'm going to be stitching. And I'll just pick one. And that's it. Just before the stream. So on average, Sarah is doing at least 1,000, right? If you put 800 on a focus piece, 200 on black and black. That's why she's our alien captain, guys. Janine says it's interesting how people manage their webs. 1,000 stitches and then switching. When I have extra stitch time, I work on my circus piece. So, Janine, have you got a, well, quote unquote, focus piece then? Sarah says, I usually get about 4,000 a week as well. So it's average about, yes. Because Sundays, Sarah, sometimes Sundays, you take a break, don't you? because her husband is around. And so that's averaging about 1,000 a day. 1,000 would take me, depends on the session, the way I'm stitching. It's not unusual for me to do 150 a day. Maybe like today. So 1,000 would take me 6-7 sessions. All right. Okay. Suzanne says also today I did 500 on Hey Sao, and tonight 353 on stained glass Totoro. Stained glass Totoro. Because Janine's got two stitching spot set up, don't you? I remember seeing your frames. Richard says, I'm looking at the confetti strew around the rolling pin in your piece, Yogi. That's very confetti heavy. Around the rolling pin, yes, some parts of this piece is extremely confetti. So for instance, I still remember, maybe that's why I can remember vividly. So I remember stitching the clock, the timer here. My God, for some reason, because up to this point, I was doing kind of cross country, roughly diagonal, stitching the pie first, and then slowly moving toward the right side. So the plan originally was to stitch diagonally, and then I found that the kitchen timer, and I decided to focus on the timer itself. So I stitched this circular area there. My God, that was very, very confetti, Russia. Particularly where the needles and the markings for the time here. It's surprisingly confetti, even though this is not a max color piece. And it really depends. It really depends. The pie area isn't too bad. The pie isn't too confetti, but you know, particularly the rising sun pattern at the back as well is very, very confetti as well. Yes, so I'm getting my warning from Michelle that the rolling pin is going to be brutal, but I'm sure it's worth it. It's worth it because you know you get a lot of details, and this area isn't too bad. But the dress, the lady's dress here, I can see a lot of color changes. That's why I'm kind of trying to avoid it right now. You know, sometimes I'm in a mood for confetti, and sometimes you know you just want to go slightly easier. Alison says, I'm part of the group. The group is called A Series of Challenges run by Abby at Cross and Crafts. You pretty much work through books and stitch per word. Huh. So hang on. So the pattern is actually text. You stitch words. And Alison says, I do a whip per chapter for Harry Potter books. What? Hang on. So you're actually stitching words. Is it full coverage type of cross stitching, or is it like back stitching for words? My goodness. So you're but to stitch a chapter of Harry Potter books, they're going to take a long time, like decades. There are a lot of words. My goodness. Janine says, my circus piece is my big frame in the craft room, and that one stays. My low, oh, you've got a lorry stand. Okay, so that one is more flexible, isn't it? And she says, my lorry stand is in the living room, and that's where I change my projects. That makes sense. Yes, I think the frame is it probably needs to stay there. Maddie says, I'm 18.46 on my hate style battle. Oh, the one Joyce is stitching as well. The color scheme is very, very subtle. Rochelle says, it looks fantastic though, referring to this piece. It will make me want to bake every time I stitch on it. I know, same here. Every time, because it kind of reminds you the kind of a joy of baking, isn't it? The simplicity of it and the coziness of it. It does make me want to bake every time. Oh, zoom in a little bit. And that's what I love about each piece I'm stitching, because you just enter a different world. For instance, if when I'm stitching vintage toys, for instance, it's very childlike, and the colors are just so fun and just so innocent. Oh, let me see. Should I go down? Let me do a yogi move here. I have not done a yogi move for a little bit. It's quite okay. I practice. I do my training, my stretches. So when I perform a yogi move, I perform it safely. Janine says, dinner just came. Guess what we're having? Ham and pineapple pizza. My goodness, Janine. This time's Janine, okay? I did not do it, and the few times I just had to mention it for no reason. But this time's Janine. So blame Janine for the P words. Yay! Yogi's innocent this time. Oh, there you go. And have you got some avocado on top as well? That'd be fantastic. Well, there you go. Walkaway says, I'm back. Took my dog to his grooming appointment and found out it wasn't until next week. What? Walkaway, you probably need a calendar. And yes, Alison, I'd love to see it regarding the book stitching. So I presume you're probably not stitching every single page, right? Alison says, Abby has broken down various series of books into amount of words per chapter. So if chapter 1 has 4,000 words, you put 4,000 stitches into chosen whip. Oh, I see. I misunderstood it. I thought you literally stitching text from Harry Potter books. So you're following. Okay, so you're just picking the number of words. But how do you put 4,000 stitches in your chosen webs? For how long? For like a month? 4,000? How long does it take? My goodness. So all interesting ways people try to kind of create challenges in order to stitch more. You know, I've learned so many. Obviously, you can throw a dart and just use a spinning wheel and just decide which whip you want to stitch. That's one way. And you can also, I've heard people using, I'm trying to think, is it temperature? It depends on the temperature of the day. I don't know how that works. And also, what else have I learned? I think you can do, is it whip go? I can't remember how it works, but there's another way for you to choose your whip. And what else? I think we're just coming up with all sorts of creative ways to motivate ourselves from stitching, really. 6:40, going back. And now we have book stitching. But why Harry Potter? Can it not be any book? And maybe choose the books that's got very, very few words. Picture books, 3 words. That'll be me. Rochelle's screaming, no. Janine says, oh, I have avocado in the fridge. You know, avocado on top of pizza. I do it a lot. Really, really good. Warm avocado. Warm avocado is lovely. Baked avocado. Grace Harston says, I just had gluten-free pasta with butter and garlic. So good. So the texture is okay, is it? Gluten-free pasta. Sometimes it's a little bit iffy. Let's have a look. I'd like to come back to the pie, but it looks a little bit... Let me have a look. It's a little bit tricky. Let me see. These ones I've done. So the stitch count today is not going to be super accurate because I have to mark and unmark certain stitches. because it's not super up to date. So today's stitch count will be a ballpark, okay? Full transparency, full transparency. Alison says, I work per chapter and can take a couple weeks, but it's broken down into pages per chapter. So you could just put in 5 stitches. So am I correct, Alison? The number of the book is really just serving as a kind of to provide guidance on how many stitches you need to do. You're not literally stitching the text, correct? That would be insane. I don't know, because with back stitching you can literally stitch a book, I presume. Dictionary. Suzanne says hitting 20% on Totoro. 20%, that's a lot. So I've got some blue stitches. Why not? Okay. So, is it 161? It is. 161. Suzanne says the bean type of gluten-free pasta is not good. I have tried one, maybe buckwheat. I will not do it again. I remember I was cooking those, you know, the ribbon shape. I can't remember what it's called. Maybe you do. The little ribbons. And it was made of buckwheat. And because for a while I was trying to do gluten-free as much as I could. And no, that wasn't good. The whole thing just fell apart. It would just turn into one giant, I don't know what. I do not recommend it. Sarah says, I have adult coloring books to track progress. I color in a section per 100 stitches. Oh, as a reward. So you stitch 100 stitches. And also when you say adult coloring books, that can be interpreted slightly different way. Okay, you do you, Sarah. No judgment from me. That's interesting. So Sarah's incorporating two hobbies together. Maybe I should, knit a single row of my crochet blanket, or crochet, not knit, every 100 stitches I do. Now I have an inspiration. So I can do both, you know. I'm kind of neglecting knitting a lot. Alison says, correct. Just to give you a bit more focus on webs, that's how you like to work. So the book is really just serving kind of random numbers for you to focus on. I'm relieved to hear that. For a moment, I thought you were stitching all the text from Harry Potter. That's going to be epic. So literally, you can just take a random book and just flip whatever, you know, to a page randomly, and just see what number that is. Oh, that wouldn't work. Page numbers wouldn't work because, you know, obviously, you know, the number's increasing. If you want to cheat, you just pick page 1. Suzanne says, mung bean, really good, reminded me of proper pasta. Really? I do not recommend a buckwheat pasta. That wasn't a, that wasn't a good memory as far as pasta goes. Gray says, the gluten-free pasta I use is called Rummo, made in Italy, has brown rice, yellow corn, rice, no beans. I recommend it. Interesting. I'll look it up. Because sometimes, I double a little bit of gluten-free baking for bread. And it's not really possible to bake with a single flour. Most of the times you have to blend. And the question would be, what blend is the best? And it's a lot of hassle because you have to get multiple types of flours, kind of gluten-free flours, in order to create the right composition for the bread. And I think pasta is probably the same because it's got brown rice, yellow corn, rice, everything. So Alex is eating gluten-free. Sarah, adult content. Yes. You have to be very clear. Sometimes we misunderstand things. Dana says, I got a bit tired of stitching, so I switched for some crochet and will be back cross-stitching after dinner. Yes, you can do both. Maybe I should do a little bit more knitting. I've totally neglected it. Anna Louise says, the temperature of the day method is you add up the temperature for the coming week, then time, and that's by 100, and times, then times 100, and that's how many stitches you do each day. So for the coming week, but it's changing all the time though, Anne Louise. If you're in London, it changes every half an hour. So for instance, let's take London for example. So let's say if tomorrow is, let me have a look, is 7 degrees. Okay, so tomorrow supposed to be 8 degrees, okay, in London. So it times 100, 800. What? What kind of number is that? For aliens? That will not work for me. I'll be stuck. And also, yes, I think forecast is changing all the time. Surely not time 100. And imagine if you're in Australia right now, it's 40 degrees, I ask you. So time 100, you're gonna end up with 4,000. I mean, our Australian stitchers are going to be very busy. Janine says, I've totally lost my want to knit after I have gotten so involved in cross-stitch. Same here. I still want to knit. I just don't have the bandwidth. And whenever I have time, instead of knitting, I just want to take out a project and, stitching full coverage and stitch it. So it's been like this for the last few, 3 years. Occasionally I'll pick up something sort of knitting projects, but then, I can just lose motivation and just come back to stitching. I still have half a blanket to finish. Okay, I'm gonna end this color. So Alex is allergic to gluten and stuff, like different grains. Okay, so it's kind of just random grains. So it's a process of elimination to see which one works okay. I'm really into bulgur wheat, even though it's not gluten free. But recently I've been eating a lot of grain as well, and quinoa as well. Really into quinoa. Yes, I think for some, quite a lot of people, it creates a lot of burden for digestive system when it comes to gluten. So anything that's wheat based can be very taxing for the body. I know, Jane. That's what I said. It's like in Australia, it's 45 degrees. So, Jane, you have to stitch 4,500 every day. Otherwise, you fail your mission. Good luck. Yes, Kathy as well. Kathy says way here in North, is it RN? Here in Vegas. 68 degrees. And also, are we talking about Fahrenheit or Celsius? There has to be a standard there, because otherwise people are going to choose the Fahrenheit, Celsius. It's lower. 68 degrees. Yes, exactly, Cassie. That's your daily goal, okay? 6,800. Go. Oh, I didn't know that. Adana says, I have a crochet small business. So yesterday we learned about your stitching group. I didn't know it was a business. Amazing. I love knitting and crochet as well. Wow, amazing. And you can introduce cross stitching to Argentina as well, definitely. Here. Do I want to keep going? Let me have a look. All right then. The next color would be 3856. 3856. A light peachy color. Grace Hudson says, I have a half of crochet blanket here as well. I know. Normally, a blanket of that size will probably take me, I don't know, maximum maybe a month, because I was, really big on knitting. So I was knitting a lot, constantly, and now it's been sitting there for maybe 2 years now. I kept thinking I should go and finish that 50%, the other half of the blanket. I'll probably need to relearn all the stitches again, because the one I'm stitching is kind of slightly complex. You know, it's got each section, it's got different type of stitches. I'll literally have to watch the YouTube video again to relearn it. Oh, so Alex is allergic to sugar as well. I think I am as well, Suzanne. I don't go crazy if I have sugar, but if I have something that's really sweet, I feel really weird. I just feel really weird. I normally if I eat an apple, that's quite sweet, that's kind of okay. Still not great, but if I eat anything that's just pure sugar, or anything that's super sweet, my whole body just feels strange. I don't like it. So I try to avoid sort of too much sugar as much as I can. Cassie says, I'm part of the full coverage fanatics group. What? That's the name of the group, Cassie. And she says, one of the challenges is to stitch a book series, and I chose Lord of the Rings series, and I forget how many words are in the books. One book, one word, one stitch. Okay, so it's very similar to what Alison was talking about. So the books essentially is serving as almost like a spinning wheel, right? It depends on which page, you know, depending on how many words per page. So you're not stitching the book as such. You can use a magazine if you want to, and just if you're able to count how many words per page and you just follow that number. Is that correct? So you're not stitching the content of the book. So Alison, you're not alone. You've got a fellow book stitcher, a book number stitcher. I don't know what name it is, but that name, you know, the name of the group is pretty full on. It's called Full Coverage Fanatics, not Full Coverage Lunatics. No, I'm kidding. Of course not. Ah, okay. So with Alex, Suzanne, you really need to be very careful. And is it constant or does it change? Because sometimes the allergy sensitivity could change throughout, you know, different times. So sometimes it's okay to eat something, and then 6 months later, it's not. That can happen as well. But hopefully, if it's stable, it's easier to manage. And sometimes it's a process of, you know, kind of elimination. You rule out everything and then add, you know, different things back to see which one is creating problems. Right, Suzanne. Yes, I'm like that as well. I'm okay with fruits. Most fruits, berries, no problem. Apples, if it's really, really sweet, I have to, you know, keep the you know, maybe one occasionally. But if anything is kind of refined sugar, my body just feels weird. I literally just felt weird. Sarah says, I posted my new tracker in a group. What is that? Is it kind of like an update for your whips? But Sarah, you know, guys, when you see Sarah's numbers, do not get discouraged, because Sarah is alien, okay? That's why she's the captain. Just use the numbers as a inspiration. Use it as inspiration. Otherwise, you're gonna go, what? See you later, Solar Wind. Ah, I see. Sounds like Alex is probably allergic to refined foods, kind of because wheat products can be very refined, like bread in general, and soy products. Dairy is a funny one. Dairy, in theory, is kind of whole foods. So, grapes. Oh, Suzanne, grapes is just like sugar. Grapes, I wouldn't go near. Cherries and grapes, I don't eat them because I just get strange reactions. It's like eating sugar because they are very, very sweet. I do quite well with citrus fruits, like oranges and stuff. I'm okay. Or bananas. Bananas are okay. I'll probably get more bananas. Now Susan says it's good for the throat. But normally once I'm warmed up, like now it's towards kind of the end of the stream, my voice is okay. It's normally the beginning. And particularly if I teach during the day and come back, um, and when I start the stream, a lot of times I just get very tickly throat. But now once I'm warmed up, I'm okay. Okay, let me end this one. Uh, JG 938, welcome. It says it's called Filthy 5 Whey, Soy, Corn, GMO, Gluten. Interesting. So GMO is just genetically modified. I can't remember what O is. Gluten. To be honest, gluten is supposed to be part of plants, right? Certain plants. It's more of how they're grown, so it's probably linked to GMO as well. And corn fundamentally is fine. A lot of culture, ancient culture, they eat a lot of corn. And soy as well, a lot of tofu is just pure soy, but unprocessed. Whey, I have no idea what whey is. I know whey protein is quite popular, but I'm not familiar with it. But I think it's more about how they're grown and how they're processed. So fundamentally, those things, soy, corn, and whey, I presume, they're just plants. But it's more of how they're grown, how they're processed. Majority of wheat that we consume, it's highly processed. And probably soy, if you have good tofu, it's just pure, soybeans. But I suppose that when it comes to soybeans, people think about GMO as well. So it's a whole chain of different things. Fundamentally, those ingredients, there's nothing wrong with them. Suzanne says Alex eats a lot of banana. Yes, I get along really well with bananas. There's certain foods that I'm not gluten sensitive necessarily, but I try to reduce the amount of gluten I eat purely for what say JG has just mentioned. It's more of the how processed they are, but nice bananas. They're just bananas. And it gives me a lot of energy, and it's not heavy. So, I can have a banana in between classes and no problem. No problem at all. And nuts as well. I have nuts. All right then, so it's 22 past midnight. Let me pick one more color. Okay, my finishing color. I like to finish quite strong. So let me pick a nice color to finish. I can do some blue down here. That's quite nice as well. Or let me have a look. I kind of want to do slightly stronger colors within reason. Which one shall I go for? I can do a few more. Let me have a look. I can do some orange brown. I'm not sure. All right then. Let me do this one. So I've got about 10, 12 stitches to do. 729, 729. Okay, so it's kind of sandy color. Lynn says, you will not eat your cherry pie in your stitching then. That's quite true. I think when, cherries are just far too sweet. And maybe it's just a small slice of the pie. How's that, Lynn? It's all about balance, isn't it? And, but fresh cherry, yes, fresh cherries are far too sweet. And grapes, I wouldn't go near grapes. I'll probably just have, I'll probably get headaches afterwards. Janine says, I can't eat a lot of corn. My body hates it. I can eat corn chips, but kernel corn is a problem, and I live in corn country. That's interesting. So you're okay with corn chips. So maybe... depends on the corn chips you eat. Maybe you can have a look, just out of curiosity. You can look at where the corn is produced. I don't know whether you're able to know. Maybe just how the corn is produced, because there's nothing fundamentally wrong with corn, because that's how we eat as a civilization for centuries, right? That's how we got here. But why, out of sudden, we have issues? And we know it's not the plants, it's how they're grown, and maybe chemicals or whatever, GMO that's happening. Because even animal products, even like meat and dairy, particularly with meat, there's so much chemical that's pumped into them in order for them to grow a certain way, have lean muscles, so they're worth more money, and also speed up the growth as well, so they can be, they can be profitable sooner. So all these things, pretty screwed up things that we do to our, plants and animals. And that's why we have problems. We should be surprised if we didn't have problems. We just mess about too much. Cassie, hello Cassie. Crofer says, whey is the liquid remaining from making cheese. Oh, is that what it is? I kept thinking whey was a type of plant. It's not. It's part of dairy. I didn't know that, because I've heard of whey protein, but I've never had whey anything. Okay, so it's a remaining liquid remaining from cheese is what's left when all the milk solid are removed. Okay, so when you make cheese, you make a curdle, don't you? So with chemicals, or maybe in the olden days, they use, I think, part of animals' body parts, like I can't remember what it is, from goats or something, and to curdle the milk. So that's the remaining clear liquid. That's whey. I didn't know that. Okay, and Kathy says, I presume they evaporate somehow to get powder. Who would have thought, whose idea it was to think, look at the liquid, the clear liquid, and go, I'm going to just reduce it down and turn it into powder. So I can understand it's probably quite a lot of protein in there, isn't it? Oh, so whey protein is not vegan then? I never looked into it. I know whey protein is quite popular. They're P Russian. Hello. I probably butchered that handle. I think it's a lady. If it's a gentleman, let me know. She says, try masa chips. I hear their ads, lots of supposed to be healthy. Masa chips. Is masa a type of plant? Lynn says, Yogi Lady did not have all this trouble years ago. Absolutely not. Yes, because we, as a civilization, as human race, we came here by eating all of those plants and animals and everything else. We didn't have problems until the recent decades. So you know it's not the plants, it's something else. Hi, Natty. Natty says, I've been obsessed with stitching Cupid's ice cream shop artwork by Mr. Butter D and charted by Unconventional Cross Stitch. Oh, I like the name actually. It's called Cupid ice cream shop. Anything ice cream shop sounds great. Or cake shops. I hope you're well, Natty. Good to see you. And Rajal is going to bed. 99. Sweet dreams, Rajal. Great to see you. Great to have you. I hope you enjoy your session today. JG says pea protein is vegan. Yes, pea protein is very popular as well. For some reason, I never looked into whey. I kept thinking maybe it's a kind of plant or something. Clearly not. Clearly not. All right then, so this is my last stitch here. Oh, look at that. 729, 729. Lynn says they even spray vegetables. They don't use horse manure. Yes, probably not enough horse manure. They probably use chemicals. So you can mass produce, you know. And also they try to remove bugs by pumping a lot of weird things onto our plants. So even though they're bug free, but it's not human, you know, it's not friendly to human body. Unconventional, is it, what is it called? Unconventional cross stitch. Yes. Sounds interesting. I'll probably check them out as well. Right, so I want to show you what I've done today. Okay, so I've done my final stitches here, and slowly I'm kind of, you know, try to correct my my stitches, try to match up on the chart, and I think I made pretty good progress today. So today mostly focusing on the lady from the neck down. Okay, so I stitch a little bit of the body here, going downwards. There'll be quite a lot of light colors because the outfit is actually quite light in colors, but she's holding a pie here as well. So you know, I'm quite looking forward to it for it to take shape. And at the back here is a display cabinet with a lot of delicious items there. So that's quite fun to do. But overall, I'm really pleased with the progress. Look at this. I've got my wooden spoon up there and my Christmas pudding. You know, I know it's not Christmas anymore. And yeah, so I'm really enjoying it. So let me show you while I'm stitching, just in case you're joining me a little bit later here. Let me show you. This is a piece called Vintage Baker. And as you can see, it's quite appropriately named. It's got a big cherry pie on the upper left, which I'm still working on, and I'm going across the top there, just finding interesting objects. And now I'm kind of spending some time around the baker lady as well, toward this not quite upper right, near the egg there. So let me show you my app here. I love this piece so much. You know, from time to time, I kind of park it a little bit, not doing very much, but every time I pick it back up, I really enjoy it. So this is where I am. Just give me a second here. So look at my pie here. So I'm about 50% with the cherry pie. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to share with you my, oh, Lona has just joined us. Hello. Lona is just right on time for my stitch account. Okay, Lona. And hang on. So here we go. I'm going to count down from 3, 2, and 1. There you go. The grand total of stitches Yogi has made today is 255. Yeah, well done, Yogi. Not bad. 250 is not too shabby. Even though, full transparency, you know, I need to remind you, I had to mark some extra stitches and also unmark some stitches. So give and take, hopefully, is somewhere correct. And in terms of the percentage, I think I pushed about 0.1-ish percentage. I think I started off with 9.5-ish and now I'm 9.6. Not bad at all. Yes, I'm very, very happy. And this is a regular colors and 90 colors. Okay, so this is a great pattern. If you like it, you know, go grab it. It's kind of a hidden gem when it comes to Hate and also Aimee Stewart as well. It's not so talked about, but as you can see, it's beautiful, beautiful pattern and really, really fun to stitch as well. So thank you so much, everyone, and give us some love. And Dolly is totally neglecting her duty as a streaming Yogi stream companion today. I don't know where she is, and probably napping, you know, just taking it easy as a cat. And so I hope to see you on Saturday. Okay, just to remind you, tomorrow there's no stream tomorrow. Do not send out the search party for Yogi. Okay, but we're gonna meet on Saturday. So for everybody, we're gonna join, come together and stitch Aimee Stewart to do our Aimee style. And for members, we're gonna have one session before that. We're going to do our side quest, okay? And just bring any kind of interesting project. If you want to knit, you can knit. And we're going to spend some extra time together before our saw on Saturday. So until then, 99 everyone. Yes, thank you for your Dolly love, and 99, and to everyone in Europe as well. If you're still awake like Suzanne, well done. Yes, you're my hero. So I'll see you on Saturday, guys, and keep stitching. Bye bye. 99.